meeting to order. Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka? Here. Councilwoman Dorminio?
Here.
Councilman Garrett?
Here.
Councilman Accomando? Councilman Accomando is unable to attend this evening. Council President Mazur.
Here. Please rise for the salute to the flag, and I ask that you remain standing for a moment of silence in memory of Saddlebrook VFW Commander Raymond Hefferman, retired Saddlebrook High School Principal Jane Moffett, and Andrew Camilleri, son of former Councilman Joseph Camilleri and brother of Police Officer Joseph Camilleri. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all council members and to all legal newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law, 1975.
The public is hereby advised that any statements made during the meeting of the Township Council, the Township of Saddlebrook, may not be privileged or protected, and that persons or entities who would take issue with such comments or are offended by same may and have in the past sought legal redress through the courts. Any member of the public who addresses the council speaks for themselves and not for the council.
We'll be doing the introduction of the 2018 budget. Okay, a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Roll call?
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes. Was that? At this time, I'd like to have our auditor say a few words.
Thank you, Council President. You have before you tonight the 2018 calendar year municipal budget for introduction. It'll be advertised according to law. There'll be a public hearing in 4 weeks, I believe, where the public will have an opportunity to give the council any input that they might on the budget. The news that everybody wants to know, of course, is what's the municipal tax increase. It's $34.63 on the average residential assessment, which is a little over $336,000. That's a 1.26% increase in tax dollars for 2018. Again, the main drivers in terms of increases in spending, contractual obligations, pensions, health benefits, and a little bit extra for tax appeals, which we've done a good job dealing with, and we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel finally. So again, $34.63 for the average residential homeowner, 1.26%, and there'll be a public hearing in 4 weeks where the public can have input on the budget.
Awesome, that's great, thank you. Any council members have any questions for? No? Okay. No questions? Okay, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to open to the public.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The meeting is now open to the public. Anyone wishing to be heard, please come up.
Good evening, everyone. Thomas Van Winkle, 128 Lincoln Avenue. It is now April, contrary to the weather outside. That means that the youth group is planning some great things for April. We're looking at meeting April 14th, possibly on a Saturday morning around 11 o'clock. We haven't finalized that date yet, but we're planning on having our next meeting on that date. We're looking at doing some Earth Day activities. More specifically, the bench that we raised money for is going to be dedicated at the playground by Victor Field. Mayor, do we have a date on that? Yeah, I forget.
No, not yet.
That's right. Okay. So that'll be coming within the next couple weeks. We'll advertise it on the town Facebook page, on the Mayor's Youth Group Facebook page. So also, and just recently we participated with the Easter celebration at the high school. The youth group is very helpful with the games. We had a wonderful time. Many kids came out and enjoyed The Easter celebration at the high school, that was on March 24th. The week before, we stuffed the Easter eggs at the Veterans Field Trailer. So I'd like to thank the youth group, all the members who helped make all the Easter celebrations possible. So we hope to see you at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Anyone else?
Hi, Cheryl Lilly, 72 Graham Terrace. He actually answered one of my questions. I was going to ask about benches for parents to sit on at Victor Playground and also maybe Avon. You know, you walk your grandchildren over there and you kind of stand there and no place to sit. So thank you.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask about, on Fairlawn Parkway where the circle is, what is that, the Korean monument there? There's Weller and there's Skillman. All my life I've lived in Saddlebrook. I went in on Weller and out on Skillman. I thought that was like a law. And now it seems like whenever you get there, 3 cars are coming out on Weller and 2 are going in and everybody's going every which way and there's going to be an accident there. I mean, I actually have to stop dead and wait and see
Who's coming
where are
in?
all these people going. So I don't know how you go about, you know, finding out. Are you supposed to be going in on the right and out on the left?
They're both two ways,
Are
really.
they both two ways?
Yeah.
Because I know most of the other circles you can win on the right and out on the left. Well, I just thought I'd bring that to your attention. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else wishing to be heard? No. A motion to close?
Motion close.
Second. Right. I would just like to comment on our budget. I'd like to commend all our department heads and the mayor, the administration, our professionals, and of course our township employees also for doing such an awesome job. It was great, you know, a great budget that you put together, and proud to introduce it. Worked diligently. Good job.
Thanks, Paul.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Yep. Mayor, I understand you have a proclamation?
Yes. Do you want me to do my comments after, or
I'm sorry?
do you want me to do my comments after the
Yeah,
proclamation?
well, whatever you want to do.
Do it all at once?
I do it all at
It'll be a
once.
little long, but that's
Whatever.
okay.
Joe Cool.
Okay, I have a proclamation here. April is Autism Awareness Month, so I'm going to read this proclamation. Whereas globally, since 2008, Autism Awareness Day is April the 2nd and is observed throughout the month. The day often features educational events for healthcare workers, teachers, parents, and children with autism. And whereas studies performed by the Center of Disease Control and Prevention have indicated that New Jersey has among the highest autism prevalence rates in the country. And whereas more healthcare professionals are becoming proficient in diagnosing autism and the rates both nationally and locally are on the rise. And whereas a variety of public and private organizations and agencies strive to provide quality care, support, and services to children and adults with autism to help enable them to live as independently as possible and reach their full potential. Now therefore, on this 5th day of April, 2018, I, Robert D. White, the mayor of the Township of Saddlebrook, do hereby proclaim April 2nd, World Autism Day, and April Autism Awareness Month in Saddlebrook. I urge all residents to become educated and informed about programs, services, and opportunities to help support individuals with autism. Tonight, myself and the council, we're all wearing blue in recognition of Autism Awareness Month. So that proclamation is very important, I think, and I'm going to go on now with my comments for this month. We had the introduction of the budget, 2018 budget. And thank you, Council President, for those kind words. It's doing the budget. You have to have everybody involved. You got all the department heads. You have Pete Ladico, our business administrator, township clerk. We have the auditor. We have the CFO. Of course, we have the council that reviews everything. And I think we prepared a good budget this year. And I'm looking forward to having budget hearing on May, at our regular meeting on May the 3rd. As the auditor said, basically, The total of the budget is $23,162,000, rounded off. It's a 1-point increase, which amounts to $34.63 on the average house assessed at approximately $337,000. And again, we're gonna have that public hearing on May, at our May meeting, regular meeting, Thursday, May the 3rd. I just wanna go over some capital projects. Our concession stand is down right now to a punch list items that need to get done. The council and I have agreed to have an outside service manage the concession stand. We're going to request proposals, and we'll enter into a contract with the most qualified company that we feel can do the best job. Road resurfacing projects should begin shortly. Unfortunately, the winter refusal to end has delayed the start of some paving projects. Senior housing, the site work is progressing nicely. Our generator here at Town Hall, the contractor completed wiring, everything. We're just waiting now on town inspections and public service, electric and gas to turn on the service, to test it. We have a first reading on tonight, an ordinance to replace the water main, the complete length of President Street. This was recommended by our DPW Water Department and our town engineer. We want to get this work done before the street is paved by public service. They're completing a gas main project that they started last year, and they just have to pave now, so we want to get that done, obviously, before they pave. We also have a final reading for the appropriation of approximately $76,200 for the construction, Phase 1 of Tricentennial Park, using a county open space grant and trust funds monies that the township has. We hope to do a dedication ceremony sometime in the fall. Other resolutions, we have tonight a resolution on introducing, that I introduced, supporting the continuation of the federal Community Development Block Grant Program. This was discussed at length at the March Bergen County League of Municipalities meeting, which I attended, and it received strong bipartisan support. Funds for this program were removed from the federal budget by the executive branch, but ended up being reinstated by Congress with some funding cuts, but it ended up surviving the final budget approval. Over the years, we've used this money, these federal funds, to do our hire our senior citizen personnel, and various infrastructure projects throughout the town, drainage, most recently drainage on Liberty and Leswing. Summer recreation camp. Our rec director, Andy Gallo, is planning to offer a summer camp program for Saddlebrook youth ages 11 to 14. It'll be held at Veterans Field for the month of July. We will have more information over the next couple of weeks about this, about the camp activities, registration, and different fees. Easter celebration, Thomas mentioned that, and thank you for that. Myself and the council were pleased again. We've done this now every year for the last 4 years, our annual Easter celebration. I want to thank Councilwoman Karen Darminio, Councilman Todd Accamundo, Shannon Accamundo, and Christine January of our Projects and Activities Committee for organizing the event. Also the members of the Mayor's Youth Group for helping set up and work the games. A big shout out to the Saddlebrook Women's Club for serving lunch in the cafeteria. Special thanks also to Joanne Brendel for taking photos, which were posted on Facebook and the town website. Finally, thanks to Rafael Gonzalez of En La Cosa for videotaping the celebration. The video was also posted on Facebook and our website, and is also playing right now on Our Town TV, Channel 77 Cablevision, and Channel 38 Verizon Fios. As in years past, the Saddlebrook Community Partnership Committee collected food at the event for the Saddlebrook Food Pantry, which is housed at the First Reformed Church. So thank you for all who donated food. School liaison meeting, we met with the school district personnel on Thursday, March 22nd. Councilman Garrick is a member of that committee and will provide a report when he does his comments. We're working on a newsletter, our annual newsletter, which should be mailed out to residents sometime in May. A few training seminars worth mentioning. The town, both the town and the school district have done two different training seminars. Ours on March 13th and 14th was hosted by our Access for All committee, and it was a mental health first aid course at the senior center. Councilman Simaluka will speak about that when he does his comments. And last Wednesday, the school district had a presentation by some mental health professionals for parents about teen depression and anxiety and warning signs. The town shredding event is Saturday, April 14th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the rear of Coolidge School on Saddle River Road. Also opening day for Little League, and they have a Little League parade on Saturday, April 28th. It starts at 11 a.m. It begins on Fairlawn Parkway and Fairlawn Parkway and Shepis Ave, and we walk to Nedlick Field, where we have the opening day. Community partnership, I want to thank all the students from the Saddlebrook High School, Middle School Community Partnership Club for snow shoveling this year. We had many snowfalls, and they shoveled the homes of some of our residents who are unable to do so by themselves. I want to thank our Community Partnership Coordinator, Howie Weinberg, for managing that program. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Council comments?
Okay. Thank you. As the mayor said, we did meet with the Board of Education and discussed a few items. Of those items, we spoke about the lightning detection system, and we're collaborating with them to get that, so to keep our students and our children safe in the community. Playing baseball, if there's any lightning out there, we're able to get notified and keep everybody safe. So that should be up and running towards the end of April. In addition, there's a couple trailers by the high school field that we're going to have removed. There's no use for them anymore, and they need to be removed, so we were able to discuss that, and we're going to have those trailers demolished and removed. In addition, security in our schools, we did discuss a few things. One was for the upcoming elections this year in June, the primary, and in November with the half-days. We want to make sure there's security in the schools those days due to the fact there's going to be people coming in, voters and so forth. And we want to make sure those schools are well secure. In addition, I'd also like to mention, I did attend the Easter egg celebration. I want to thank everybody that participated and volunteered, especially our Thomas Van Winkle, who was our bunny rabbit there. My daughter loved it, so it was a great success. There were a lot of children there, and everybody had a wonderful time. In addition, I'd like to just mention the budget. Whenever we hear budget, we hear money, taxes. I think it's a very responsible budget. I'd like to thank everybody that participated in getting that together and presenting it. I think people are going to be very happy. It gives the township what we need to operate and provide the services that we need to serve and still be fair with the taxes. And that's a big concern I have, as well as all the taxpayers here in Saddlebrook, for obvious reasons. And then finally, I'd just like to mention Saddlebrook Educational Foundation is holding their 4th annual 5K run walk. They raise a tremendous amount of money for the students here in Saddlebrook, and I take part in that event. And if you'd like to sponsor it or just walk the event, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilman?
It's always hard to be third because everybody says what you want to say, so. I just want to mention, one thing. Cheryl, you mentioned about the circle. I live on Avon, so I go Skillman, and I know what you're saying. But thank God so far, I'm there 28 years, and we seem to make it okay. So hopefully, but it is 2 ways on each side, which I know is crazy, but it has worked so far, so. One other thing I wanted to mention, a resident sent in a letter about legalizing marijuana. And I just want to mention that we are in the process of discussing it. And actually, we just touched on it at this work session. We are in research, and we want to, spend some time on it and get some information. But we will be addressing that issue in the near future. And lastly, the Easter egg hunt. Shannon and Todd Alcomondo really did a great job. I kind of just oversaw it with the budget. They did all the work. Thomas, you did a great job. You do a great job with the mayor's youth group. And as the mayor said, everybody that participated makes it very successful. I think other than that, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Yes.
Well, we talked about the budget, and it's going to be raised by a very small amount, $34 for an average assessed house. One of the first things that we did was we ended up buying one of these things so people could hear us, because that's one of the complaints. For some reason, people actually want to hear what we say, which I guess is a good thing, until they cut me off. What are you doing? You got the timer on?
We have a mask.
We have-
Okay. But some of the things that are in there, like the rolling tax assessment that, or reval that we've been doing, reassessments, I'm sorry. We feel that it's for the benefit of the town. We also have started these programs to make sure that things don't get into an emergent situation, such as police vehicles. There was a time, I guess I've been on for 10 years, and I've been sitting in the audience for 10 years before that. And a lot of times it's, oh my God, we need 6 new police vehicles tomorrow because they're all breaking down. What we've done is we've started a purchasing program where the police vehicles get put out of the pasture when they need to, and we have new ones rolling in. So that's a continuous process. The same thing with the street paving, which we started last year. We're continuing with a number of streets this year, and then what we hope to do is not to have them get into deplorable shape. And I know for some people out there, their streets are in deplorable shape, and we understand that, but we can only do a certain number per year. But we're getting there, and that it's in the budget, so that every year we plan on doing these things. The same thing with the water lines, the sewer lines, like Flo had said. Was it you?
I'll take
Pete,
credit.
Pete had mentioned, okay, one of you, had mentioned about, that, right, it was Pete, I'm not gonna give you credit. The water line on President Street, it's not, you can't cut me off like
Yes, I could.
that. I guess so, that's the danger of this stuff, technology. We don't wanna wait until there's a huge problem there, so it's nearing the end of its useful life. We're gonna fix it ahead of time instead of waiting for an emergency. And like Pete had said, the last thing we needed to do was to only do half of it, have PSE&G pave the entire place, the entire street, and then find out that the other half needs to get done, and we just wasted about $200,000 in what would PSE&G is paying for it, free paving. So we're doing the whole thing, we're being proactive in that. Other things that we've done, to justify the increase, we purchased a new fire truck, we purchased a new ambulance vehicle. One of the things, one of my pet projects, and I'll say it, was because I get yelled at by my wife and other people, that Saddlebrook, it seemed like we didn't have enough festivities during the holiday season. And we're gonna look into, it's not a definite, but we're gonna look into having more, lights. Like if you go down some other towns, their Main Street. In our town, it would be Market Street. Maybe have some festival lights up for the holiday season. I'm in Access for All Committee chair. We're going to get some signs to designate different things. We are a stigma-free town. That was something that has been encouraged by the county, and we have an ordinance for that. We're going to get some signs up there. So there's, and that's a very small amount of money. The summer camp is not a lot of money, but we're hoping that it starts small and gets big, like a lot of things. We've never had it before, or maybe we did have it years and years ago. It was in the trailers over in Washington. But this is the town of that. We now have a full-time rec director. One of the greatest things I think that we've done is to understand that we have a full-time senior director. We need a full-time rec director, and we all agreed on that, and we're funding that. And one of the things that he's doing is to get this camp going for these age groups. Maybe next year it'll be more age, it'll be more people with more ages. in regard to the Access for All Committee, unfortunately, I was in court yesterday. We had our meeting till 8 o'clock. I was unable to go there. The mayor, may I talk about it?
Yes.
Attendance is tough because a lot of the people that are on the Access for All Committee are also on other committees. So it's tough to attend a bunch of different things. We might consider, and I'm leaning toward that, is to roll the Access for All Committee as like kind of a subcommittee into the community, what's it, community project? Community partnership? Which, when I walked into the senior center one night, it was 25 people, which was awesome. We're not getting that kind of attendance, so if we kind of roll it in there, I think we'll get the attendance. We're able to do what we need to do for that subcommittee and get the involvement of other people. One of the things that we did was sponsor the mental health first aid training that the mayor had mentioned. That was a 2-night course, 4 hours per night, but it's important for all of us to know these warning signs and to talk to that person or that person's family or close friends, because you can avert a tragedy if you know the signs in advance. And I thought it was very beneficial. There was, I think 15 people were there. It was myself, the mayor's secretary Christine, James Maniscalco and his son Michael. Everybody else was a teacher, which is great because who are closer to children than the teachers?
Did you forget me?
Wait, Flo was there too? Oh, I guess Flo was there.
It was your
I
partner.
was only sitting next to her. I wanted to see. That was a test. That was a test. But I mean, you will agree, it was very informative. It was long because it needed to be long because there's a lot of stuff to learn. And what I'm hoping to do is to do it again, and hopefully we can get more people, because I think the more people that attend this type of a seminar, you'll get an idea. There was a lot of things that I had no clue about, and I'm listening to it and saying, you know, how the heck could I not know that? But I didn't. And it's going to be very, I think it'll be helpful to the community. Again, we did talk very preliminarily about possibly doing something with the Board of Ed to expand, I think, on what we did, the mental health first aid training, and expand on what they have done in the school, maybe a joint venture. It's in the planning stages. But if you hear it again on here, you know, on TV or on Facebook or, you know, in the newspaper or on our little bulletin board outside, I would urge that if it's going on, that you make all efforts to attend. And if we do it, or we're going to ask that in La Casa, film it, put it on our Facebook, put it on YouTube, and broadcast it on the TV, because it's just been a weird 6 months. I mean, we lost 3 young people, 2 house fires displacing some kids. So the community, Saddlebrook is one of those communities that rebounds, and we're coming together to help those in need, and our community gets closer. But it's just the fact that it happened is just very, very disheartening. So with that being said, that's all I have to say. It's been a tough time over the last few months, and hopefully it'll get better.
Thank you, Councilman. I'd just like to comment. I was at that first aid class with Mrs. Samaluka, and I found it to be so enlightening, especially as an educator to young children. I think the earlier that we detect or we see things, the better off we're all going to be with these children, just like with autism. The earlier that it's diagnosed, and I think the better, the easier it's going to be on everyone. So I commend these workshops and things, and I hope that we continue to, we will reach out to more and more people in our community, because it does take a village. Thank you. This time, we're going to go into ordinances.
We have ordinance 1641-18, a capital ordinance to appropriate the sum of $76,200 for the construction of Tricentennial Park in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from a county grant and from trust fund monies of the Township for a second reading.
Motion for second reading?
Second. All, roll call.
Councilman Simulukis?
Yes.
Councilwoman D'Arminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Council President Mazer?
Yes.
A capital ordinance to appropriate the sum of $76,200 for the construction of Tricentennial Park in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from a county grant and from trust fund monies of the Township.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Roll call.
Councilman Simulukis?
Yes.
Councilwoman D'Arminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
And Council President Mazer?
Yes. Have a motion to open to the public?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The meeting is now open to the public regarding this ordinance and this ordinance only. If anyone would like to comment, come up or ask questions on this ordinance. Nobody? Nobody? Motion closed.
Second.
Second.
Councilman Simulukis?
Yes.
Councilwoman D'Arminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Council President Mazer?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, "A Capital Ordinance to Appropriate the Sum of $76,200 for the Construction of Tricentennial Park in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from a county grant and from trust fund monies of the Township does now pass on second and final reading, and that the Township Clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Simulukis?
I just wanted one comment on that. I think Cheryl came up with a very good idea to look into possible benches. We are in Avon, because we are fixing up the playground part of it. Actually, it's Eagle Scout project for Michael Maniscalco. Town is assisting in that, but basically it's his baby and he's running with it. But that's I've been there, and we may need some benches. And I know that Councilman Akamando's not here tonight, but he's trying to work toward getting some extra benches and tables at our county park to help us, for those who go to the township picnic, to try and get some better seating over there. But maybe we could look into that. So that's a very good idea, and that's why we like people to come to meetings and give us some ideas, because we're only 5 people and we got 13,000 living here. So thank you, Cheryl, for that idea, and we're going to discuss it. And I will vote yes.
Councilwoman D'Arminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Council President Mazer?
Yes.
Ordinance passed. Ordinance 1642-18 is a bond ordinance to authorize the acquisition of a fire truck and various equipment for the use of the fire department in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,625,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds, and to amend bond ordinance number 1613-18 adopted on October 6, 2016 for second reading.
The motion.
Motion for second reading?
Second. Roll call.
Councilman Simulukis?
Yes.
Councilwoman D'Arminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Council President Mazer?
Yes.
A bond ordinance to authorize the acquisition of a fire truck and various equipment for the use of the fire department in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,625,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such appropriation, to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds, and to amend bond ordinance number 1613-16 adopted on October 6, 2016. Ready for a public hearing?
Motion to open to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The meeting is now open to the public regarding this ordinance. Anyone wishing to be heard regarding this ordinance? No.
Motion to close
Motion
the public?
closed.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, "A Bond Ordinance to Authorize the Acquisition of a Fire Truck and Various Equipment for the Use of the Fire Department in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,625,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds, and to amend bond ordinance number 1613-16, adopted on October 6, 2016, does now pass on second and final reading, and that the township clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of date of passage of said ordinance according to law."
Motion,
Motion.
Second?
roll call.
Councilman Samaluka?
Comment?
Sure.
Just with the, like I had said before in my comments, with the two house fires displacing two families, one directly across the street from me, I don't think they're gonna be back in their house until the end of this year, so it just goes to show you, even though a house, you might see it, it's not burned down to the ground, they're not getting in there for 9-10 months. So it's just shows the need for proper equipment. Our guys do a great job, and we need to give them the right kind of equipment. I will vote yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Council President Mason?
Yes.
Ordinance passed. Ordinance 1643-18 is a bond ordinance to authorize the 2018 road improvement program in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,550,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds for second reading.
Motion,
Motion.
Second?
roll call.
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Council President Mason?
Yes.
A bond ordinance to authorize the 2018 road improvement program in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,550,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. Ready for a public hearing?
Motion.
Second,
Second?
roll call.
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Council President Mason?
Yes. I'll make a motion to open to public.
Motion.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is now open to the public regarding this ordinance. Anyone wishing to be heard? Seeing none, motion to close.
Motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any comments first?
Any, no comment?
No comments. It's great.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, "A Bond Ordinance to Authorize the 2018 Road Improvement Program in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,550,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds, does now pass on second and final reading, and that the township clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the date of passage of said ordinance according to law."
Motion.
Motion.
Second?
Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka?
Now I can comment. I will not.
Not a roll call.
This is
Roll call.
this is good for the town. I vote yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Council President Mason?
Yes.
Ordinance 1644-18 for first reading. It's an ordinance for the calendar year 2018 to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank pursuant to law. And what this allows is the monies that we don't use this year and reaching cap is banked for future years if needed.
a motion?
Motion to introduce?
Second.
Second, roll call?
Councilman Simaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dearmini?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that calendar year 2018 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a bank cap pursuant to law heretofore passed on first reading be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on the third day of May 2018 at 7:00 p.m. or sooner after as the matter can be reached at the municipal building 93 Market Street, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of a time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
A motion?
Motion.
Second,
Second.
roll call?
Councilman Simaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dearmini?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes.
First reading ordinance is the bond ordinance to authorize the replacement of the water main on President Street from Route 46 to Midland Avenue in by and for the water utility of the Township of Saddlebrook and the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $825,000 to pay the cost thereof, to authorize the issuance of bonds, and to finance such appropriation and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds for first reading.
Motion?
Motion to introduce?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Simaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dearmini?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the bond ordinance to authorize the replacement of the water main on President Street from Route 46 to Midland Avenue in by and for the water utility of the Township of Saddlebrook and the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $825,000 to pay the cost thereof, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds, heretofore passed on first reading, be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on the third day of May 2018 at 7:00 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the municipal building 93 Market Street, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further, further considered for final passage.
A motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second, roll call?
Councilman Simaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dearmini?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes.
That completes the ordinances. All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine and non-controversial by the Township Council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or member so request, in which case the item or items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. The one motion signifies adoption of all resolutions, receive and file letters, correspondence, reports, and approval of minutes and applications. Not part of the consent agenda are resolutions number 13 and 14.
Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Simaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dearmini?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes.
We have resolution number 13 is payment of bills from his own plumbing,
I
and
recuse.
Councilwoman Dearmini is reclusing herself on the vote.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second, roll call?
Councilman Simaluka?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes.
Switch.
We have resolution number 14, approved payment of bills for Stone Brook Garden, and Council President Mazur will be reclusing herself from the vote and is leaving the dais. We need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Simaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dearmini?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Pass.
Okay. Old business? Any old business? Nothing? No?
For-
New business?
There.
Any
Yeah.
business?
Through the chair, just new business. I want to thank Cheryl for bringing up those two items. Regarding Skillman and Weller, that's, as you know, I was a police officer for many years, and people that are from out of the area, really, when they see that intersection there, they get confused and they scratch their head. I don't know why there are a lot of accidents there. And over the years, I can't remember too many, but maybe it's because they slow down, because the traffic coming out of Skillman and Weller are going slow. They have, a stop there. And the people on Fairlawn Parkway, I guess it's a residential area, so they know the situation, but we could look into maybe some signage there, which we could discuss, but we'd have to have the police department do a study of that area. And again, one of the things that they would look at is the amount of accidents that are there. But I know what you're saying. It is quite confusing, and it's kind of funny because people that aren't from town, friends of mine, they say, "What the heck is going? What is it there? Which way do you go?" And so, but that's something to be considered. The other thing about the park benches is, I know we do have a line item for park maintenance, and that's something that I think we'll discuss at our next work session. We have had other complaints about that as well, especially Avon and Kern Street Park, which is the one that we're putting a bench there. That was actually brought up by Mr. Sudol not too long ago. So we are working on those things. I also just want to bring up what Mr. Samaluka said about the Access for All Committee, and we've had a discussion. We've talked about this in the past, and I think it's a good idea because really the purpose of the Community Partnership Committee is to help people. So, and really Access for All is a similar, you're helping people with special needs. It's a vital function. I think it'd be good to have a subcommittee, and still Mr. Samaluka would be the chair, and we could discuss it. And the more people you get involved, the better, and you get more input from people. So I like that idea as well. So we'll continue to discuss that in the future, our next meetings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair a minute. We've talked about this, and bringing up Avon Park. The benches in the park, the county park, are all memorial benches. And I think maybe we should do that, because there are people that like to do it, families, and that might be another
It's a great idea.
avenue to think about, because there's one at the senior center, and this may be another opportunity for somebody who wants to do something like that, to do it in the park.
I know that in the county park, there's
You
no
can't
more-
get any
you
more.
can't get any more,
No.
so
Yeah.
there are people who have,
Yeah.
somebody actually mentioned something to me about the new park, Tricentennial Park. They wanted to.
But maybe,
sponsor
we could do it in
something.
Avon also,
Yeah,
because that
no,
would be
I
another
agree.
alternative,
Jack Wozniak lived right there,
right?
so.
We did reach out to the county to see if we could do something about those benches. We've been trying to get them. I mean, you can't understand how slow government works. Especially, and the higher on the food chain you get, it just seems to get slower and slower. So, in terms of getting these new benches and tables, we figured, listen, you don't even have to pay for it. Somebody else will buy them. Somebody else will pay for the cost of memorialization. And the county said no. And, they run the show. It's their park. So we did try to do that. Figured it's not gonna cost anyone any money, because someone would donate the money to have the bench dedicated to a loved one. But they said no. But certainly Avon Park has nothing to do with the county. So great idea. Maybe we can get that taken care of that way.
Okay, thank you. Okay. A motion to open to the public?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The meeting is now open to the public. Anyone wishing to come up and speak on agenda items? No.
Motion to close?
Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion to close?
Motion to close the meeting.
Second, all in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.